So anyway, but anybody that is interested in that, I mean, I had some great friends do the, stuff. Herschel Gordon Lewis gave me a big deal on the behind the scenes, and Frank, Helen Lauder, Frank.
The guy who put together this documentary has been doing it for years, and he was able to get a lot of quotes from a lot of people that aren't with us right now.
Yeah, Dave Friedman.
So it's really nice.
It's been in the works for ages. He was here with Bill the last time Bill was here. And it comes out in 2 weeks. It's exclusively available from its own website. Fangoria did a piece on it just a couple days ago telling you where you can order it.
Right, exactly. It is well worth it if you want an exhaustive documentary.
It's really been an exciting few years for Bill Grefe fans. The Devil Sisters, which was considered lost, basically, got finally released. You want to talk about the rediscovery of Devil Sisters?
Well, the Devil Sisters, I looked 25 years for a print of that. Could not find it, because back when I made that, I didn't have the money to buy a print, and nothing. And through the miracle of the internet, I found a collector in Germany that had a print, because the distributors used to send a print over to Europe, and they distributed. It was distributed real big in Germany. So I found the print and bought it off the German, and we just put that out on DVD. And it's a true story about these two sisters in Mexico that they'd advertise for gals. Pete, did you see that on 42nd Street when Devil Sisters played 42nd Street?
Pete's not here.
Pete's not here.
You're mistaken.
They're just people who look like Pete.
You're mistaken another old guy for Pete.
That's Pete's stunt double.
Pete's stunt double. Pretend you were 46.
Stunt cock?
Amazingly enough, that I had two people, I didn't even know people knew. I mean, I've only owned, we just watched Whiskey Mountain, and that's my print, my personal print. And the person who sold that, I bought it on eBay. And the person who sold that had two people contact them, and she gave them my number that they both contacted me going, this is very rare, the elements don't exist, we'd like to put it out. And I was like, it's just my print, man. I mean, what the hell do I don't want to get rid of it. It's really rare. So I think it's really odd that this stuff shows up is what I'm saying. And then weird people like me wind up with it, and then it comes out, because of the fact that I bought a print on eBay, it's and that's how I found it. I just basically outbid a guy for $130 for that print on eBay. Now, honestly, that's a lot of money for me. I never pay that much for a printed film. But I think it's great. And Devilish Sisters is one of them that, from the first time we met and the first time we talked and you were here, you kept telling me, if you can find that movie, that's the rare one. But obviously you have a handful of them in your repertoire that are kind of rare, and everybody does, because like you said, you made them, you put them out there, you made your money back, you made another film, you didn't buy your prints and keep them. So I think it's really weird.
Well, in Whiskey Mountain, the fellow that played the leader of the gang was John Davis Chandler. I don't know if you know Johnny, but Johnny was in a couple of Peck and Paul movies, and anybody see Outlaw Josie Wales?
Yeah, he has a great role in that.
I mean, you have Peckinpah, and then you have Bill Grefe up here.
He played Roy.
Yeah, I wish I had his money before he died. But anyway, Johnny was a great friend, and he did something, I don't know if you guys know it, and actors and their agents won't do a damn thing unless you get paid, up front. And I'd use Johnny in Mako Jaws of Death, and anybody see The Hook Generation?
Oh yeah.
I think The Hook Generation was the best thing Johnny ever did in his whole career. He was brilliant. And so anyway, I was out and I was going to use Neville Brand to play that part.
He's talking about Roy, the guy. Roy, right? Yeah, Roy. Yeah, the guy who runs the whole drug operation.
Yeah, and so I'm out on location in the mountains, and his Neville's agent calls, and he's got pneumonia, he can't come. So what the hell am I going to do? You know, so I sent a note back to the production office, and I said, call Johnny Chandler's agent and tell him I need him here in 2 days. I don't have time to send him money or anything or a ticket. And Johnny came on his own because he trusted me, you know. And Johnny was a great
because he was pivotal. He had great pivotal scenes you needed to move the story.
I loved him in The Young Savages. Rich Frankenheimer directed.
I think my favorite scene in Whiskey Mountain is when he looks at people and they're like, we're just here because our grandpa... Why the hell didn't you tell me that? We would have never done all this shit if you just told me that. You know, there's that scene in the movie where they just tell what they're doing. They're looking for muskets, and he just looks at them oddly and goes, why in the fuck didn't you say that before? So that was a great scene.
You had touched on the Hook generation. Some of the casting for that, you just kind of picked some kids off the street, right? Isn't that true that some of the casting was just...
Well, one of the gang members in Hook Generation was Willie Pastrano. He was the light heavyweight champion of the world, you know. And Willie was crazy as a bedbug. I'm talking about crazy. And one day, there was a scene where it was getting dark, and I shot my master, and I had to get close-up. So I said, oh, geez, I can't get him. We got to do him first thing in the morning. Willie shows up, and he's got a shiner about this big. And I said, Willie, you know, how the hell am I going to do close-ups? You're all swollen. Ain't my trouble, brother. He said, it ain't my fault. I said, what happened? The guy tells me that Willie's driving to work at an 18-wheeler, runs him off the road, and this big Teamster gets out of the thing. Boom, that Willie, right hand right through the window and knocked Willie. And so I said, well, what did you do, Willie? And he said, gee, I can't remember. Oh, yeah, the ambulance took him away. I remember that. And Willie had this monster. Willie was light heavyweight, you know, about 175, but he opened up with combinations, and this guy was unconscious. He using his head as a
So this guy got one shot in.
So anyway, but the wildest thing, Willie was crazy, and anybody saw Hook Generation, he's got a death scene at the end where he runs through the swamp and the FBI gets him and all that. So he lived right near this park we were shooting at. And so Willie comes up, and Willie had a .45 revolver. It wasn't a automatic, it was a revolver. And so he says, hey babe, I live right next to the park. He said, can I go home? I finished my death scene. I said, yeah, Willie, go. So Willie takes the damn .45, and he's walking out of this park, and there's a man and his wife and his kids across this lake. Willie has all these blanks. Willie says, you motherfucker. The guy, you know, runs like hell to it. There was a payphone there, and he calls them. I'm in the swamp now doing all the scenes, and I hear sirens coming. There's about 25 police coming, surrounding the all. There's a madman loose in the park shooting at people. By then, Willie's back, safe and sound at his home, you know. But anyway, I could go on for hours, all the insanity.
Now, before we open this up to, I'd love that, you know, you guys can ask some questions. And I know if I don't ask it, then my AV guys can ask it. But you work with William Shatner on Impulse. And we are both Shatner guys. So, like, you gotta have a good William Shatner story. Come on, he's an amusing fellow. You work with him on Impulse. Any good Shatner stories to tell other than the one with Doug Hobart?
Oh yeah, well,
I mean, you caught him at a great time in his career. I mean, like,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of stuff, so.
Well, the producer of Impulse was a guy named Socrates Ballas, who was, he worked with me as like an associate producer, and he'd been an actor for me, and he wanted to produce a movie, and he raised the money over in Tampa, and he hired me to direct the thing. So Sock and I were going out to LA to talk to some agents on casting, and we're in the Miami airport, and Shatner comes walking past, and I said, my God, there's Shatner. I said, he'd be good for this, you know. So we stopped Shatner in the airport, gave him a big pitch, and he read the script and got him in. So we canceled our flight to LA. We never went to LA, you know. But 2 years ago, Quentin Tarantino had me out to his theater, the New Beverly, which we showed Impulse, and we showed the Stanley film. And right before I left for LA, this guy called me and he said, I don't know if you know it, but when in Impulse, anybody see Impulse?
No.
Yeah, well, you know, when he hung Cicada, Odd Job, the damn noose slipped, the rigging slipped, and Cicada was literally choking to death. And anybody else would have broke their neck, you know, which Cicada's neck was about this big, you know. And so Shatner sees it. My God, he's dying. Cut the rope, cut the rope. So they cut the rope, and we all ran in off camera and grabbed Cicada, because he was about 260, you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, when I went out to the New Beverly, I called up Shatner and I said, I got this footage of, he said, oh my God, I got to see this, come by. So I went by to see him, and we played it on the Moviola, not the Moviola, on the TV, the DVD. And he said, this is fantastic. He said, but there's no sound to it. Why isn't there sound? And I said, well, you know, the guy's making a whole movie. He had a 60 millimeter, but he didn't have any sound. He said, well, hell, I'd record it if he had, but I don't have a recorder. And I said, yeah. So I knew Daniel Grefe, who is doing the documentary, he was at Jerry's on Ventura Boulevard having lunch with Gary Crutcher. And Gary Crutcher's a writer. I could go on for hours on Gary Crutcher because he's a maniac writer, crazy as a bedbug. So I get on the phone and I said, get over here, Shatner wants to record this. And so Daniel says, Gary won't come. And I said, give him the phone. And Gary says, I just ordered a banana split. To hell with Shatner, I don't want to go. And I said, Gary, if you're not here in 5 minutes, I'm coming to Jerry's. I'm going to cram that banana split up your ass. Now you get over here. So they came over and Shatner. I recorded the whole thing, which is on.
Did Daniel get to use it on the doc?
Yeah, so it's in the doc with the behind the scenes stuff with Shatner. And you know, Shatner's a mercenary. He does nothing cheap, you know. And after he finished, he said, damn it, I don't believe I did this for free.
Now, if they got that line on the documentary, that'd be priceless.
So,
Art, you got any wrap up before we see if anyone's got any
We
questions?
should probably give a moment of time to talk about Rita Hayworth and the Naked Zoo and how working with Rita Hayworth was.
well, Rita Hayworth was very, very shy. And you wouldn't expect that of her, you know, from her screen presence and all. But it's interesting, and this is a story for any filmmakers who try and get a star. I went out and the whole budget on that movie, which was a lot of money for me, was $250,000. And I had $50,000 set aside for Rita. And I went to her agent, and the agent wanted $250,000. And I said, I can't, I got $50,000, you know. And so anyway, I fought like 2 or 3 days with this agent. He wouldn't budge a bit.